Hello students, today's topic is population composition and population pyramid with its type. So now what is population composition? What do you understand by composition? Now population composition is the description of population according to the characteristics like age and its sex. Okay, so what is your age? It is between 0 to 15 or it is between 15 to 59 or it is above 60. So these are the three categories in which the population is basically distinguished. And the sex means the sex factor is what? Male and female. So these are the two things in which the population composition is distributed. So basically population composition is the description of population according to its characteristic such as age and the sex of that particular person. A population with persistently high fertility or instance has a large proportion of children and small proportion of aged persons. So this we are going to study further, that how it has been described and how it has been divided. Now what is population composition? Population is also considered as human resource. So it is not only the population, it is a type of resource. A human is a resource which can be utilized, okay, for the benefit of the country, for the benefit of economic development. The physical and intellectual characteristic of population are affect the development of a region. The development of region is dependent on how human resources are used like other natural resource. So like other natural resource, even human beings can be used for the development of a particular region or a particular country. But it should be used in an efficient way. The human economic activities also develop with the reference to human resources. In fact, if human resources are not developed efficiently, the use of other resources also gets adversely affected. So, basically, other resources are used mainly by human beings to do the activities daily basis. So, if human resources only not going to be used very properly, then there is no use of other resources, or the other resources also will not be used properly. Now the first thing is the age structure. The age structure of population refers to the number of people in different age groups. In the starting only I told you that the age structure means what, how the groups are being made according to the age, according to the phase a human life goes on. Infant, children, teenagers, youngsters, adults, old peoples. So these are all the phases which a particular human being he crosses. Okay, infant is an initial stage, child is before the teenage stage, teenage it is below particular till 18, then young when you cross your 18, and then adults, old people. So all these things are the phases which a human being goes on. Each of this age group has a share in the population. So all the age groups have this share in their population. Their share in the population varies from country to country. So in each and every country, the structure or the age structure of the population is differing. In some countries, the child ratio is more as compared to the old people. In some countries, the childs are less as compared to the old ones. In some countries, the working population, that is the population between 14 years to 60 years, is more. So comparatively, every country differs in the population or the age structure. What is population pyramid? Now there are the three main points that you should understand about population pyramid. Okay, the y-axis in the center of the graph shows the age group, while the x-axis shows the population or percentage of population in a specific age group. So the y-axis which you see here, they are distinguished according to the age. Means see, you can see at the down 0 to 4, 5 to 9, 10 to 14, 15 to 19. These are all the age groups. And the x-axis which is at the down, at the bottom, it gives you the percentage of population in that specific age group. The length of bars shows the number of percentage of population. So how the bars you can see, it shows how much the population percentage is there in that particular age. The left side of the graph represent the males while the right hand side represent the females. As you can see in the figure, the left hand side represents the male while the right hand side represents the female. The base of the graph represents the children population while the apex represents the old population. So the base, that the down part, as you can see the down part there, it is all young dependents, means what, all the children, okay, which are dependent on the people, those who can earn money, okay. And the apex part, that is the top part, that is representing the old people, even they are the dependents on whom, economically active population. So in this figure you can see that the base is young dependent, the apex is old dependent, and the middle proportion between the base and apex is economically active population, okay. Demographers use population pyramids to describe the age and gender-wise distribution of the population. As you know, only two things are mainly seen in the population pyramid. First is the age and second is the sex. So according to the population pyramid, we get the information about the age and which gender, how many males are there, how many females are there at that particular age. Okay. A larger size of population in the age group of 15 to 59 years indicates the chances of having a larger independent working population. So, if the middle proportion, that's the proportion of 15 to 59, the economically forwarded proportion is more, then you can say that the working population is larger in that particular area. If the number of children in 0 to 15 is high, the dependency ratio will be high. So if the base proportion, that is between 0 to 15 is high, then the dependency ratio also will be high, because between 0 to 15 age group, the child, he cannot earn, so definitely the dependency of those children's or that particular region will be more. Similarly, a growing population in the age group of 60 plus indicates greater expenditures for medical and health facilities for the aged population. Now at the apex you have the population of 60 plus, okay. So even these are the people who get retired, they don't have any income source, so even they are the dependent populations, so they have more expenditures like the medical and health facilities. Now, pyramids are distributed, or they are mainly classified into three types. First is expansive, second is constructive, and third is stationary. Now, all these are having different designs. We'll study one by one how they are classified, on which format they are classified. Okay, the very first is expansive. Broad base and narrow apex shows that more people die at each higher band. This shows high birth rate and high death rate. So how can you identify whether it is expansive pyramid? Whenever you see that the base is broad and the apex, that the top is narrow, means it looks similar to the pyramid, then you can say it is an expansive pyramid. But what does it indicate? As you know, at the base, what is at the base? The children ratio. And what is at the apex? The old ratio. That means that the birth rate is high, and as well as the death rate is also high. Now the next is constructive. In this, the base gets narrower while the apex is broader. This indicates lower percentage of younger population and more of elderly people. This shows low birth rate and low death rate. Now, constructive is totally opposite to expansive. In this, the base is narrow and the apex is broader. Broader. Okay, it is totally opposite to the expansive, and it indicates the low percentage. Means what? The birth rate, or the younger people child who is taking birth, that is less, and more of elderly people. Okay, so it shows that the birth rate is also low and the death rate is also low. Why? Because at the apex, It is very broad because of it. It means that the people who are between the age of 60 and above, those people, they are not dying, they are in large quantity, so it is broader at that particular point. Last one is stationary. Almost all age groups have same percentage, very low birth rate and very low death rate. Population hardly grows. Now stationary means what? All the age group which starts from 0 and it ends till 80, 90, whatever is the life expectancy of that particular country. Okay, from starting to the end, it shows the consistency. Okay, there is the balance. So this type of the pyramid has the group which have same percentage, means what? Very low birth rate, very low death rate, population hardly grows, so there is totally balance between the birth and death, so there is no change in the population hardly grows. The type of age structure has a direct influence on the future of a nation. Both old age dependency and young age dependency prove to be a serf burden on the economy of the country. On the other hand, higher proportion of working population means large number of manpower. So as you all know that old age people as well as the young age people, they are the dependency part, and they are dependent on whom? They are dependent at the middle proportion. Okay, the economically preserved people, okay, they can earn means between 15 to 60, so these are the economically preserved people, they can earn. And where there is higher proportion of working population, there the manpower is also. So in this you can see first one, expansive. Here the base is broad whereas the apex or the top is narrow. The second one you can see that down in the at the below, the base is little bit narrow and the top proportion or the apex proportion is broader. In the stationary you can see that in the both the cases, male as well as female, there is some particular equality, there is some particular balance, there is no change. Okay, so this is how the three parameters look like. Sex composition. Now, population pyramid also tells us about the number of men and women in various age groups of the country. So, in the population pyramid, as the pyramid itself classifies itself into two groups. First is female and male. Okay, male at left hand side and female at right hand side. So, you can understand that how many male and female population is there in the particular country. The gender distribution in a country is also important. Okay, so it is an important characteristic. We should know how many male and how many female are there in a particular country. The ratio between the number of women and men in the population is called as sex ratio. So whatever is the ratio between a female and male, that is considered as the sex ratio. But in India, how is it calculated? Total number of female population per thousand total number of male population. This is the formula of India. There are different sex ratio calculation technique in different countries. It varies. This is not universal formula or universal technique which is followed in all the countries. It is only followed in India. The sex ratio is an important information about the status of women in a country. On an average, the world population reflects a sex ratio of 990 females per 1000 males. So it is very important to understand the status of women. The highest sex ratio in the world has been recorded in the countries like Latvia, Estonia, Russia, Ukraine, where there are 1,162 females per 1000 males. In contrast, in Saudi Arabia, there are 667 females per 1000 males. So, in some countries, like Russia, Ukraine, the females are more, and in some countries like Saudi Arabia, the females are less as compared to the males. So countries like China, India, Bhutan, Pakistan, Afghanistan has lower sex ratio. In general, Asia has low sex ratio. Now, as the countries like China, India, Bhutan, Pakistan, Afghanistan, all these countries belongs to the Asia continent, so definitely these countries have less sex ratio. So definitely Asia also has lower sex. Now the next part is literacy and education. Proportion of literate population of a country is an indicator for its socio-economic development. So wherever the literacy is more, education is more, definitely the country's socio and economic development is also going to be high. It reveals the standard of living, social status of female, availability of educational facilities, and policies of government. So, because of literacy and education, the standard of living is also developed. The status of females are almost good. Availability of education facilities and government policies are also good. The level of economic development is both a cause and consequence of literacy rate. Every country has its own definition of literacy. So, as I told you that the calculation of sex ratio differs by country to country, similarly, every country has its own definition of sex ratio. Okay, some countries they consider as reading and writing. Some countries they consider only reading. Some countries only writing. So all these things differ country wise. So in India, literacy rate denotes the percentage of population above 7 years of age which is able to read, write, and has the ability to do arithmetic calculations with understanding. So in India, all the population which is above 7 years is considered as literate only if that particular person can read, he can write, and he can solve the arithmetic calculation with his own understanding, then it is considered as a literate person. The literacy rate in Europe, North America, Eastern and Southern East Asian countries are higher, whereas they are lower in Northern Africa, Western Asia, South Asia, and Sub Sahara Africa. So, there are high literacy rate, there are low literacy rate according to the development of the country. In any continent or subcontinent, the literacy rate of female is not more than men, except where there is full literacy as in Central Asia. It is same in Europe and North America. So many continents and subcontinents in that particular areas, there is very less proportion that the literacy rate of females is equal to male or it is more than male. Okay, generally it is less than male. But in the Central Asia, there is full literacy, whereas in Europe and North America also the literacy rate is 100%. Now, occupational structure. The working population, that is, the men and women of the age 15 to 59, takes part in various primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary occupation. So, the population which can work is between 15 to 59. So, these population can do any type of business from primary to quaternary. The proportion of working population engaged in the sectors in a good indicators of the level of economic development of the nation. As the age structure from 0 to 14 and above 60 or the considered as dependent age population. So wherever the age factor between 15 to 59 is more, in that particular nation the economic development is also more. This is because only a developed economy with industries and infrastructure can accommodate more workers in the secondary, tertiary, and quaternary sector. So, wherever the economy is developed, only there the industries are developed, new infrastructures can be accommodated with large number of workers, and because of that, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary activities can also be carried out. If the economy is still agrarian, then the proportion of people are engaged in primary activities is high. So wherever the economic condition is low in that particular area, agrarian activities are more, means dependency on agriculture or agricultural development is more. So such people are basically engaged in the primary activities. Rural and urban composition. The division of population into rural and urban is based on the residents. This division is necessary because rural and urban lifestyles differ from each other in terms of their livelihood and social conditions. So, according to the development this division is created. Wherever the development is more, it is considered as urban, as the lifestyle is good. And wherever the development is less, it is considered as rural. So it is going to differ according to the social conditions also. The age, sex, population structure, density of population, and level of development vary between rural and urban areas. So according to the areas, there is the difference between age, sex structure, density of population, and the level of development also. The criteria for differentiating rural and urban population varies from country to country. In general, rural areas are those where people are mainly engaged in primary activities, and urban areas are those where majority of the people are engaged in non-primary activities. Okay, so wherever the people are engaged in primary, that is animal husbandry, agriculture, fishing, rearing, so these are the primary activities. So wherever primary activities is more, so in that area is considered as rural areas. And wherever non-primary activities are more, such as transportation, trade, businesses, industries, okay, all this non-primary activities are more, it is considered as urban. Please subscribe the channel Human Geography.